Hi there. Yeah, today we're going to be basically, you know, carrying on where we left off in the part one of this video, where I began blocking out this hospital scene right here. If you don't really know what's happening, I suggest you start that video first and then, find your way back here. But today I think I'm going to add a little more detail in terms of like art direction to the scene. I know it's not ideal the way I'm going to be doing this, or it's not like following complete protocol, but I've laid down enough of the geometry to where I know, like, I have kind of an idea of where I want the scene to go in terms of, working on my animatic and stuff like that. So I figured just to, like, kind of, get myself right and sort of learn, like, where I'm going visually with this, I think I'm going to start laying down a few textures into the scene. I think that'll help me in a way, like just like I said, better visualize where I'm going, and then obviously I'll be going back and adding further detail and more objects once we get some of that done. But I feel like for myself, adding some of the textures in now just kind of helps. Kind of a random tangent that I'm going on in terms of like the protocol of how you make the environment, but that's what I feel like to do for now. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna hop right into that now. And if you want more of this kind of content, be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. I can't speak properly today for whatever fucking reason. Blah, 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 blah. Let me get that out of the way now. Anyway, yeah, let's get it started. I think what I'm gonna do first. Let me just see here. Yeah, I'm just gonna start laying down some random textures here. So I might do the hallway first, see how that works out, and just kind of, give myself an idea of, what colors I'm going to be laying down and stuff like that. So yeah, let's do that. And of course, my texturing techniques might not be the best in the world, but this is all pretty simple geometry, so I think it'll be fine. My texturing techniques work for what I need to do in terms of like, this is going to be for an animated series for like the obviously the backgrounds of shots and stuff like that. So it's not like the craziest like realism in terms of detail and stuff like that, but I've sort of like merged my own art style into it. So yeah, let's do that. So like I said here, we have the hallway. I'm thinking I might do the floor like a black color, and then maybe the walls like kind of light blue or white, but we'll see. We'll see what works out best for us. We can drop a few like color ramps and stuff in there and mess around with the colors. So yeah, let's just get that started. I think I'm going to tab in first to UV editing and just make sure that the UV maps are straight before I continue on with picking out which texture I want to do. So we'll go ahead and do that first. And yes, this is a giant Snorlax sitting next to me, in case you're wondering. It's like a huge beanbag pillow right there. So yeah, just in case you were wondering what that is behind me. Alright, so we'll grab all of the faces for now, and then we will, further fix those if we need to. But I think I'm just going to do smart UV projection because this is like obviously like a simple shape. So I think that should hopefully work out okay. See what kind of texture map it gives me. That should be fine for now. It looks neat and tidy. Everything's working out, pretty well there in terms of shape. Let me just see which kind of faces is which. Alright, that should be fine. So, we want to get our shading tab open now and drop a material on there, see what we can do with it. Alright, new material. Now what I normally do is I'll take this regular principled BDF node, and then I'll just drop a image texture on there to give me some pre-made textures in Photoshop and stuff like that. So it's normally like, to give it a uniform look, I'll normally use, something like, let me see here, let me find the one that I would use for like walls and stuff like that. So I can do something like this right here, which is sort of a nice marriage of my style there. So yeah, that all looks really stretched out at the moment, so we're going to have to fix this up quite a bit here, but that's fine. This wall looks okay, as you can see, but we have the long walls right here that are just stretched to shit. So yeah, we'll definitely need to fix that. How's the floor looking? The floor is going to be a different material anyway, but alright, let's get back into UV editing this. You go to Material Preview, and let's see where our faces are for these. This side, this side, this side. Alright, so this may be a case of like turning these 90 degrees, and then yeah, it looks like that's what we're going to have to do here. So we'll change these to 90 degrees, and then we can fit them in better into the image. 90, and then let's see here. I can take these ones and make it closer to this. And this is still kind of stretched out, as we can see here. So I think I'm going to take these to the side, and then we can use up as much of this image as we can to sort of stretch these, and hopefully that'll work out better for us. Give us some more. Which side is this stretching now? Let me see. That side. Yeah, so what's happening here is we do need to change this back. It was flipped the correct direction. Alright, so what do we do now? This side, I'll take this, no, these vertices here, bring them down. Give us sort of a better area to work with here. And then I think I'll just use like the whole image kind of for both sides, if that makes sense. So I'll take this one first, scale it up. And again, this is not going to be like perfect texturing. It's just, kind of rough and ready, and gives us a good... I could actually try a different method of editing this UV as well. I may do like a projection mapping instead, just to see if that works out better, but we'll see. Scale Y. Let me see what happens when I... No, that's not right. Alright, so we may have a better time. Slightly better looking textures here. So that looks kind of stretched out, though. I don't really know. Again, we'll see. We're going to be like dropping... yeah, it's kind of stretched. Kind of stretched there. I think we'll do them individually. Each face individually, and then that might work out better for us. Yeah, I think that'll work better. So that's one right there. Yeah, that looks better, at least, than it did before. Again, we can always like manipulate these again if we need to, but that's fine for now. And then we're not even going to see... Actually, we may see where these join together, so I may have to be mindful here just to make sure that it's not tiling kind of weird. Pull that across too. And I want to make it more of like the shape of that face itself. So this one's kind of more of squared off than that. And then I can always cover things later, like, for example, if this is tiled like badly here, which I think it is. Let's see. Object mode. Yeah, you see this is very poorly. You can tell right there where the seam of that is. So yeah, I'm not going to want to do that. I'll maybe take both of these faces together and sort of work it out like that. So the shorter one is this one. Longer one is that one. Okay. Yeah, let's do this again. So we'll edit these join these two together so that it looks more like one texture there. And then of course the door will be separating it from that one, so that one should be fine on its own. You're not going to see any kind of weird tiling on that side, but these two, since they're connected, we'll have to, and I'll go ahead and do this side the same, so we'll have that, so we can redo this, unwrap. Yeah, I think I'm going to do projection on this side. Let's see how that works out for us. Project from view. Yeah, that looks better. So now we have a better face here that we can work with, better marriage of those two parts of the wall, and now we can scale this up to make the texture, you know, to give more detail of that texture there. Now I'm just going to make sure as well, and then you see they're joined like well now. You can't see the seam right there. So yeah, that's good. Let's make sure that it did that on this side as well. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yep, that's fine for now. And now we can go ahead and do this one as well. And this. We'll do those again with a... So again, the project from view worked better this time. Just because, like I said, it's a simple kind of shape. So it's not going to be like too complex to texture this. It's just a regular ass sort of box shape. So we get off with doing like simple UV projection techniques like this, and it should look okay for our intended purposes. Again, I don't like the way this is tiling. You see like the dark shadow of this side of the image. So I think what I'll do here is I'll flip this around. I'll flip the UV for this around, and then this side will be on the lighter side of the image. So we may get off with it might blend a little better that way. Let's see, 180 degrees. Alright, yeah, that definitely looks better. Now you see the seam isn't as apparent there. It's a little bit apparent, but again, we can fix that. Let me see. I may take this whole side and just, yeah, I think I'll do that. Because that'll make it tile better in general. Let's see how that works. Project from view. Alright, so we'll have this whole side as just one texture now. The other side's a little different because we have like the door there or whatever to space it out, but this side is all one long piece. So I think we'll be kind of better off doing it like that. Alright, that's okay for now. Yeah, in terms of the texture we're looking, that's fine for now. And then we can go ahead and do the top as well, like just like that. Alright. Project from view. And again, I'll make the most of this image that we're using for the texture. And just rotate that 90 degrees, and then we can scale that up a bit to make it fit better, give us more detail of that texture there. Scale it down a tiny bit so it's within the bounds of that. Okay, that should be fine for now. Just to give it a little bit more variety, actually, I'm going to move all of these up so it's just at a different part of the texture. Somewhere like up here, something like that. Again, actually, I'm going to probably add a different material or image texture for the ceiling as well. But for now, we're just getting the basic, like we're just fixing the UV map as best we can, and then we can go in later and add different materials to each part. And again, we'll go underneath this time. Project from view. again, these are not the best. I don't have the best texturing techniques. Texturing, I'm sort of, I know like how to make it work for what I'm doing, but in terms of like advanced texturing and stuff, this is not a tutorial or something that you want to be following. This is just my technique, what that works for me, in terms of what I need to do for my show and stuff like that. So, again, if you're looking for like a tutorial on this, this is not the place. So just putting that out there, just setting that reminder out there. All right, that's fine. So now what I want to do is go back into this material and save that first. And now I can go to the second part of what I do for my textures, which is I'll add another image texture and drop that down here. Add a bump. Drop that beside the second image texture. And then I'll connect these up now before I even put the bump map in. So we're going to take the color, connect that to the height of the bump, and then the normal of the bump on this side, connect that to the normal of the main, the principal BDF here. See what I've done there? And then now we can take our second image texture, and I'm going to give this like more of a, obviously like a bumpy feeling to it to add even kind of more texture to that. So we can add, obviously it works best with like black and white images for, to give it a good height map to work off of. So I'm going to use actually the same texture again that I've done, just because that's a nice blend of like gray and white there. So now what we can do is, now you can see, especially on this, you can see right there that it's giving it like that bumpy look, like the whites have like raised up. The whites in the image have raised up, and looks a little better, gives it extra depth and height. Just looks more like a sort of a painted wall now, gives it that nice degree of, what we're going for here in terms of like a grungy type of texture. I'm going to turn the strength down on that a little because it looks a little bit jarring on the eye if you go to see it up close. All right, that should be fine for now, and we can check that out in rendered mode, and you can really see what it's looking like now in terms of what I'm going for here with the texture. Yeah, that looks good. I think these walls are like too dark, so I'm gonna drop a color ramp on this as well and mess around with that to get the right color that I'm looking for. Again, I was saying I want to make it kind of blue, so I think I'll do that now actually. We'll take my first image texture, stretch it out a little bit here, add in a color ramp, and then we can just drop that into the middle in between these two nodes. It should do its thing. Alright, and now I'll take the black of this color ramp here, and I'll make that sort of a blue color. Maybe a little lighter than that. Nah, that's too weird. I'm looking for sort of like a mixture between like blue and kind of gray, kind of like that steel kind of color there. So let's see how that looks. We'll go back into material preview and we can better see it without the regular lighting. Yeah, okay. And then the whites in the image, the white parts of the image there, I'll do that sort of, maybe I'll change that to black and see how that looks first. Again, I do have a texture that looks like this, though I maybe should have used that, but that's fine. We're experimenting and trying different things here. I might use that other texture that I have for a different part, so that's fine for now. How do I think? Yeah, I think that looks okay. Let's see how it looks rendered as well. Maybe a little too dark. I might use something like this for the floor instead. We'll try this out maybe with like a sort of a magnolia color or like a cream color and see how that looks. That looks really sort of green there, doesn't it, when it's rendered with these lights? But that's cool. That's fine. See what I'm going for. Not too sure about this color yet. Let me see. And in the black, I might change that to something else again. Not too crazy about how that's looking right now. Material preview. See, that's really light when it's just the material preview. The lighting makes it extremely dark, though. Let's see here. Let's make this a little darker and see how that looks. This, I'm not sure about this yet, but we'll get a better idea as we go along. Alright, I think that should be fine for now. We'll see how it looks along with when I change the floor and the ceiling, if that makes it any better. Alright, back to... No, we're fine here, actually, in this tab, in the shading tab. Back into edit mode. And... faces, yes, I've turned this off, so I can't see which faces I'm selecting. Let me turn that back on. Alright, that's better. That's what I'm looking for. So we'll change the ceiling now and make that lighter. Let me see. Alright, we'll add a new material here. Add and assign that to the ceiling, and now we can start working on a texture for this. This is going back to being a blank material again on the ceiling, so let's do that now. Again, I think I'll put my standard sort of material that I use for ceilings onto this one. And you know what else? What might help the colors of the walls? We'll change that in a second, but I forgot that I haven't turned down the specular on that and stuff, so maybe it'll react to light a little better once I do that, so we'll see how that works out. But for now, let's do this again. Texture. We don't need a color ramp for now. We'll go ahead and just add the texture and see how it's looking. Where is my ceiling texture? There it is. Ceiling texture. Alright. Alright, cool. Now let's go ahead and do that now for this. We'll turn the specular down. We will, actually I'll keep it a little bit, because like paint is like slightly glossy, so the paint may be slightly glossy. I'll keep that sort of like this. Turn it way down low so it's not too shiny, but it has like and then we'll turn the roughness down as well. No, the roughness needs to stay up actually, because that just looks like metallic now. If you see that, yeah, that's not good. Roughness back up so the light reacts to it in a more kind of realistic way there. And let's add the bump map in for that now as well. Another image texture down in the bottom. Bump node, sorry. That here. Connect that to the height. Let me zoom in there a little, see what I'm doing. Connect the normal to the normal. Open, and I also have a bump map for that ceiling texture there, so I'll just grab that and place it in. And yeah, there we are. Material preview that again to see how we're looking. Alright. That is very rough, very bumpy, so we'll turn that down. We'll turn the strength of that down. And this hospital is going to be kind of like obviously like an abandoned hospital, a horror scene, so it's not going to be like a really clean, you know what I mean? It's kind of like his nightmare in a way, so it's going to be looking kind of drab and abandoned, of course. So, you know, that's why I feel like the grungy textures that I use, you know, are going to work pretty well here to pull that off. Alright, so I think that should do okay for the ceiling. Let me see. Yeah, that's fine for now. And I'm definitely going to change these walls. It looks way too similar. It looks too similar to the ceiling, the walls. So I want a little bit more, you know, contrast between those two. Now, we shall do the same again with the floor. I'll add like I think I have an idea of which texture I want to use for the floor. So I'll go ahead and do that now. But it's not going to be the entire floor. It's going to be like the hallways, you know. The waiting room right here, I might have that like tiled or something like that. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes as we go along. Where are we now? Alright, material, add another material. And I'm going to go ahead and rename these just so I don't get confused after as to which one's which. Let me turn my caps lock off. Wall. Actually, I'm calling that texture. I think I'll call it material instead of wall. Material and ceiling material. And let's add a third one now for the floor. New, assign, and start the process again. Input, image texture, base color, and for this one now, I do have a texture in mind. I'll see how it works out. I think I'm going to use this kitchen counter texture, and then again, no, sorry. Yeah, we'll use this one, this like kind of dark blue one right here. See how that looks. Again, we can add like a color ramp onto that if we need to, and if it's not quite where we want it to be. I think that's fine. I think that's fine for the floor. Again, let's turn down the specular. And we will actually change the roughness for this as well, because I don't want that to be... Let's add a light in here and see how it sort of reacts to light. We'll not necessarily keep the light there, but I just want to see how it looks. Where are we? Shift A. Oh, okay. I forgot to tab back into object mode. That's what was happening. I was like, where's the lights? Where can I add the lights? I should have known better than that. Alright. Drop that. Put it more down here so we can just see what we're working with here. Bring it up. We'll keep that one white for now. Change it up to something like 250. Maybe higher. 500. That's fine. Alright, so I feel like this floor is maybe a little too dark. No, you know what? I will keep the floor for now, because it's just... No, that looks okay, actually. I like that okay. See, I've got to figure out a way, because I do want to have like the floor kind of lit as well. So I like the way this white light looks along with those blue lights. It kind of gives that feeling that I'm going for. So I've just got to figure out a way for this light to make sense. You know, the lower light as well. I'm not going to have that all the way down the hall, but I do want to have it in certain places. So I might actually, you know what, that's fine. If I keep it sort of like below the light, at least a little bit like that, it'll, won't look too random. Unless, of course, I turn this, and it's just, unless, of course, I like add volumetrics or something, and it's just kind of like you can see the light source within the fog. May have to adjust that further later, but for what we're looking for now, that's fine. Save that again. How do I have I don't think I've added a bump map to this either, so we'll go ahead and do that now. Material, floor material, hallway. Okay. Yeah, we don't have a bump map on that yet, so that's why it's looking a little bit lacking there. Image. Okay. And again, I think we'll just use this one that we have here, the black and white. Let me just check. Or should I use like granite? I might use granite as the base point for this, just because it looks sort of like stone a bit, you know. We'll see how that looks there. Yeah, I kind of like that idea actually. Let's see, material preview. Already turned that down, but yeah. All right, I think that looks fine. And so you can see, as you can see, our hallway is beginning to come together a little better. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks fine. Do I want to change the walls? I'm not too sure, to be honest. Let's add in like the skirtings for the bottom of the walls, just where it joins the floor. And then we'll see how that looks like. I think I'll just use the ceiling material for the skirtings, and then we can see how it looks in terms of like, you know, if it's properly contrasting. I still feel like I should make the walls maybe slightly darker again, but we'll see. We'll see how it looks. Yeah, let's do that. Tab back into edit mode. Okay. Loop cut. God damn it. Come on, man. It's not letting me add a loop cut on this side for whatever reason. No? Come on, man. Alright, that's pretty annoying. Why is it doing that? It won't interact with this side of the object for some reason. What is going on? No, not the floor. Come on, man. This side is just being really stupid for some reason. It's not letting me add a loop cut there. Weird. This side's fine. Is it because that door is like breaking it up? Because look, on this bottom half of it right here, it's doing fine. Alright, let me try something else here. I'm gonna join these faces together for now. Join these back together for now. And then we'll see if it works like that. Because that's just being really weird. No. It is not letting me put a loop cut on this side for nothing. Look, it's going like up every way but the way I want it to go. Come on, man. Don't do this. You know what? All of that's going away for now. All of the loop cuts. And yeah, we're not going to bother doing that for now. I will add that in a different way. I'll just like make like a rectangle and then sort of maybe add backface culling on it so the inside, or just like delete the the faces that will be attached to the wall, and then I think that'll be fine, because that's kind of weird. That's being weird. So yeah, I think I'll add that as a different mesh just because it's being fussy like that. It must be something to do with this wall, the way I've like extended this over here, and it's just not like recognizing the edges correctly because of that, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, that's weird. Now, what I should do here as well, I think, is finish boxing off this room. So we could take this and extrude. No! Top view for that, maybe. Not working either. Extrude. There we go. Whoa. Not what I wanted to do at all. Let me see which extrude we have on here. Extrude region. Let me see. Maybe extrude along normals will work better. No, not at all. Oh my god. Extrude individual. Not at all. Alright, so I think we had the correct one first, but actually, wait, let me see. Extrude to cursor. Alright. Nah, that's not working too well. Damn it, this is being really weird, man. Holy goddamn. It just doesn't want to do what I want it to do. Do I have this turned around or something, like at a weird angle? I was pretty sure this is 90 degrees on the grid, so I don't understand why it's going at like a seemingly 45-degree angle there when I'm trying to extrude. I just want to extrude it back to where the hallway is there, but it's just not playing ball with me right now. I think I'll just add a loop cut to the wall, and then I'll extrude it out like that. And yeah, that's gonna mess up my UVs again, man. This is why it would have been important to, you know, not do the texturing and stuff before I finish the geometry in this case. You can see that this is going to create problems now. What I might do is, yeah, I think I'll do that. I'll delete these faces right here, and I'll just make a whole new room for that because I don't want to mess with the textures that I've already done. Delete faces. All right, and then I can have an idea now of like where I want that to be anyway, so that's fine. And then I'll just add the same textures that I have here already done. Shift A, add a plane. And we're going to want to flip that on its side. Create the first wall, rotate 90 degrees. Then we can start sizing this. Make sure that it's approximately the same size as this, as the corridor walls here. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like I said, you won't really notice stuff like that when it's all done. How's that working? A little bit longer maybe, because it's not quite meeting the floor there. All right, that'll be fine because again, the wall's going to be under the floor anyway. So as long as it sort of like matches up to the ceiling, we should be fine. Okay. And now we can just tab into edit mode and not have to worry about any textures yet. We can just take this, extrude that to where we want it to be, give the size of the X vertices where we want that to, or the X axis. Extend it maybe a little bit more. Make it about that size for now, and then we can just start extruding like we intended to do before. Where is this going? What the? Alright. I think I know what I'm doing wrong here. So, extrude Y. That's it. There we are now. Why did that make sort of a weird corner there? Let me undo that, because I think yeah, that's what happened. Okay. That's what I was doing wrong. So I might have been able to fix that even with the wall that I had, but that's fine. We already started, so we're just going to continue on doing it. Y-axis, no. Extrude Y. And bring that down to where we want it to be. And I don't want this to be a huge room, so we'll have it about there maybe. Back to top view, and then extrude to X-axis. And then we'll just pull that over to the wall. And now we've got our motherfucking room. Make sure that's not poking through. And it is, so we'll pull that back a little bit. Alright. And there's a very small space here, though, between the two walls. that should be fine. Ever so slight space. And again, that's not going to really matter in terms of like my project, how I'm doing it, because later on, with all of the geometry in the scene and like most of the 3D models, I'll be adding a line work modifier to give it that, you know, the cartoon, like black outlines on all of the models. So once that's in, you won't notice like that small space in the wall because the line will be covering it, you know. So it'll look like it's like a drawing of a wall with a black outline. So yeah, we won't be noticing that once I do put the modifier in. This one is a little different. I'll have to pull this over now. I didn't realize that that was like off the wall as well. So off the wall. All right. That's fine. Now we can go ahead and UV map this one as well. This room. Show UV editing. I think I'll do just a smart UV project on this one. Keep them all the same. Actually, that doesn't look too good. Why are they all like that? Well, I know they're. Oh yeah, because they are different sizes. It's not exact. Each wall is not exactly the same size because of the way I extruded it and just kind of sized it myself there. So that's why they're not entirely even there. Shading. We can add our wall material to that. And back to UV editing, just so we can see how this looks. Stretched as hell. So yeah, we're going to take this and fix this texture here. Okay, rotate that 90 degrees. Like that. And scale up. And this looks better than the hallway, because the hallway is like, yeah, that's fine. Well, it's whatever. And then I'm not going to add the floor in there or anything yet. We'll be fine with doing that. What I can do for the room already is add in the moldings on the bottom. Should I do that, or should I just wait? I think I won't do that for now, because like I said, I'm gonna make a separate I'm gonna make separate geometry for the moldings in the hallway. So I'll just use those. I'll just copy and use those for the room as well, because to keep it consistent, then we won't be having it, you know, different sizes and shit like that. If I do it on the room, because I know this room will, like, the loop cut will work better on that, but I'll just leave that because, yeah, I don't want to start, you know, messing with different sizes and stuff like that. So again, alright, that looks okay for now. Now we can add just copy one of these lights right here and put that into the room as well. Just for reference, we can start seeing our room better. Now when I'm composing a shot, I'll want to have a close-up, obviously, of him hopping up out of his bed, like waking it up. So I don't know if I'll have like a bird's eye view of that, like from above, like this maybe. And then of course I can, you know, do different camera angles within the same environment as well. But we'll worry about all that when we're laying down cameras into the scene. That might be like another part of this. I might do like a third stream again with, you know, doing that, like adding the cameras into the scene and stuff like that, and maybe even animating one as well. I might do, I might do several parts for this, kind of just give like a good overview of my entire process, from beginning to end, kind of. And I do have an idea for the vitals machine here, or the what I mean. And I do know how I'm going to animate that, and already like the screen and stuff that's like sort of showing his vitals. I'll do that in a different scene, and then I'll render it out as like a single camera. That'll be easy to do. I know what I'm going to do for that already. I'll just kind of place down a plane in front of a camera, and then I can hand draw the little lines, and then have them move from like left to right in a loop. You know what I mean? And then once I render out that camera, it'll be easy to then drop a plane onto the front of that model as like the makeshift screen, and have that animation play out on that. I was thinking about that earlier, actually. That's a very small detail, but it's just something that I thought of. Yeah, so I just wanted to have that kind of on record, that I did consider how to do that already. I can really light this scene interestingly too. I feel like that's cool, kind of like toward the bottom of the bed, maybe. Again, very early days. We have a lot of decisions to make here, so I'm not too worried about any of this stuff yet. That could be like another cool camera angle right there, after he gets out of the bed. Sort of like show him just sitting in the bed right here. That could work too. Again, this is why like making the 3D environments first for me is like helpful. Normally I would have like started the animatic first, but then once I decided to make like 3D environments for my actual backgrounds, that opened up a lot of possibilities for me, because now I don't have to draw, like, for example, I want to have this scene this sequence in the hospital. I'm gonna have just that entire environment for him to walk around in, and I can like move the cameras wherever I want, and it'll end up looking like a cool background, rather than to draw background and after background, to like sort of pull off the shots that I want. So because I'm making the environments first, that allows me a lot of room to sort of like play around with the different angles and stuff like that, and really figure out then where I want my animatic to go, rather than the other way around, where I'd be figuring that out first and then being like, okay, I'm gonna need this background and this background. You know what I mean? So yeah, I found that very helpful when I decided to start doing 3D backgrounds. I found that was cool, and besides that as well, it's easier now to have this built and saved on the computer, and then if I want to do another scene in the same environment in the future, it's way easier to then like light it differently, and modify it, add things into it to improve it, or like to suit the scene better depending on what props I need. So yeah, it's just super helpful. I found that was like a super that was a great step, I feel, for like progressing and building this world, rather than drawing like every object individually like every time. Just to have the environment there is yeah, it's really helpful. Sorry I went off on kind of a tangent there, but I just feel like I kind of wanted to uh, sort of explore more of my thoughts, my thought process behind like why I decided to do my show this way now. All right, so I was thinking as well, I'll probably have like, because I know I'm gonna have doors on this hallway, so I can maybe do a door now. I'll maybe make a door now, and then I can kind of just duplicate that, because he's not going to be going into every door. It's just going to be closed doors like down this hallway, besides his own, of course. Should I make a door now? No, I'll do that after. But yeah, like I was saying, I think I'm gonna do like a fire extinguisher or something like that, and hang that on the wall, and then different little props like that. But we'll see. We'll see where it ends up going. Still early days yet for this, so we have a lot that we have a lot of possibilities here, you know. Now I might do this. I might just go ahead and extend this hallway now. So I've kind of got to make the decision if that's like the right width and stuff now, because I will extend these two vertices right here to make the walls for the waiting room as well. So I just want to make a sort of a final decision if I feel that is up to scratch. Actually, you know what I'm going to do here? I am going to actually bring my character in and sort of see how that's working for scale. So I'll take his walk cycle in here. Object, and and let me see where he ends up. Alright, he's over there. See, in terms of scaling, this is all kind of big, so I want to take the scale down to match him better. Although my character himself is not entirely to scale. Scale for like for like this show has been not a problem, but I just haven't been sort of paying the best attention to that. So I'm kind of just doing it by eye. I know that's not a great way to do it. I do know how to scale objects properly and stuff like that, but yeah, it's just been kind of in terms of what I'm doing, you know, it just kind of haven't really been paying the most attention to that, to be honest. I know that's not great, and it's probably gonna come back to haunt me later, but in terms of what we're doing, it's all fine for now, you know. I make this whole environment kind of smaller to suit him a little better, and then I can even scale him up a bit too. And that's actually like better because it'll be taking up like less space on the grid and stuff like that. Whoa, these lights right here have sort of taken on. I'll just delete these ones for now because I'll just add those back in after into the hallway. You can see down here now, some of my lights have went out. Alright, so I need 3 of those. I'll just do that now in case I forget later. And, yeah, let's do that now. 3 more lights. Duplicate. I'm actually curious. I haven't tried to see if I can put a... No, I think I just answered my own question. I was curious to see if I could put an array modifier on the lights as well, just to sort of duplicate them the way I did with the light fixtures and stuff like that, and the chairs on the last stream. But yeah, I'm not seeing the modifier tab here with when I have the light selected, so that's probably not possible to do that. Alright. Click, select my character again there. Bring him back into the scene. And I'm gonna be sizing him up a bit too. And it doesn't, again, scaling in this instance is not like top priority anyway, because he's kind of like on his own in the hospital. So as long as he's kind of to scale with the objects in terms of him like interacting with other characters and stuff like that, he's not going to be doing that in this scene. So you know, we can kind of like take some liberties there with his scaling. But I'm just trying to sort of compare him to like the size of the bed. Yeah, he's gonna need to be a little bigger. This character is maybe about, I say he's under six feet tall. He's probably about like 5'9", 5'10", somewhere around there. He's not too short, but he's not overly tall either. His friend, on the other hand, he's probably over 6 feet, maybe like 6'2", 6'3". But yeah, this guy's not the tallest. Yeah, that's way too big, dude. He's like nearly the size of the fucking. He's nearly touching the ceiling right here. So yeah, we'll bring that down again. Alright, so we're good about right there, maybe. Something like that. I'm just comparing him to the size of the room now, like the roof. I don't want him to be like towering, you know what I mean? Yeah, I think that's fine. And what we can do is even sort of test out that shot that I was thinking about on the last stream, where it's like at the end of the hallway, and then we can see him walking out the door. Because this instance of the character right here is actually a walk cycle that I made, so I can sort of take that in and see what that looks like now, actually. Turn him around, facing the door. Have him about right there. And then what we can do is we can bring up another window now. What is going on? That's not the right one. Oh, it is. Okay. It was just being slow. And let me bring in a timeline. And then we can auto put him about right there. Frame 0, and then frame 60. Maybe it'd be, maybe not even 60. We'll see. And this is going to be like very, very primitive, of course. Now this is not how it's going to look in the final product, of course, but I just want to kind of get an idea of how that's going to look, and then you can walk out to about there. So yeah, something about 40. All right, that's fine. And again, this is just like I said, this is, I'm just testing out like what this kind of might look like when this shot is finished. All right, yeah, something like that. He's gonna be calling out, "Hello, hello." Obviously, he's looking around, you know, wondering what the hell's going on. But yeah, something like that. And then what I can do is, I think what I'm gonna do is, after he walks out there, and sort of just stands there for a second, then I'm gonna, you know, I'll move the camera like down like this, closer to him, and then the camera can like follow him back up the hall, you know. So yeah, I think I might do that. Alright. Now, I think I'll add a quick texture to these chairs right here. I just kind of feel like doing that, so get started on that now. Actually, yeah, I actually didn't. Yeah, the last stream I decided I don't think I'm going to have to improve those first, actually, before I do anything. The texturing that I've done so far is fine because it's just like walls and shit like that. They don't really need any more refinement. But for a model like this, I'm going to need to change that first. I'm going to need to make that better before I start texturing that. So yeah, I'll leave that for now. Actually, I'm not going to do that. Bring the shading back to flat because like I said, I'm going to change the topology and stuff on that to make it look better before I need to shade it smooth. Actually, I didn't shade any of this smooth. I might do that. Go ahead and do that now. Yeah, that was affecting the way it looks too with the lighting. Let's see. Oh yeah, definitely. So that's brightened it up a lot. Just shading it smooth there. Yeah, that's right. So I need to. I'll need to better organize this collection too and separate it into different things. But I'll do that I'll do that maybe next time or something. What is the menu I was looking for? Oh yeah. Is it M? No. Where did my fucking window go to that I need? Close that area for now. And make that the... Where is it? Properties. There we go. Now I need to go back into wall material and change the specular on that as well so it's not shiny like the way it's looking right now. Alright. Roughness, I'm going to take that down a little bit for the walls to give that sort of a painted feeling. And I think the ceiling looks kind of too rough in a way too, so I may mess with that. Let's see. I mean the texture itself, not the way it's reacting to light or anything. Turn the roughness down a little bit like that, but this, yeah, I think it's the bump map that looks a little grisly now. I need to turn the strength down. Grisly, what a fucking word that I'm using. You know what I mean. It looks like the bump map's turned up too high. So I'll go ahead and change the strength of that a bit. It's just kind of standing out too much, you know what I mean? Yeah, okay, that's better. And then wall material, I think I'll do the same. That looks really, like, really rough. What I might do as well, I'll see, let me see how that looks actually if I take the ceiling material preview, and I'm gonna add maybe a Musgrave onto this to sort of give it like even more of a, no, not image. I'm so used to typing image in there that I just kind of go for it. Musgrave texture. Plug that in there. And then we can, no, actually, sorry, let me put this where the height is, not where the, let me try it where the height is, because I don't want it to be black and white. Whoa, what is this? Oh, there we are, okay. Color. Did did that change it much? I don't think that... Nah, that's not what I was looking for. Let me see. Ah, there we are. Does that look better? Let's see how that looks when it's rendered. No, that looks way too rough now. Nah, I don't like that. Let me see. If I turn the scale down and stuff, maybe. Maybe. Let's see. I'm not sure about that, to be honest. Nah, I'm gonna take that off. I don't like that. Just attach it the way it was before. There we are. Yeah, we'll leave it. We'll leave that the way it was. I might add that to the floor though, maybe here. But we'll see. I think that's okay for now. Just trying different things out, you know. All right, now should I think I'll drop the texture onto these light fixtures as well. Select all, and I'll take these off. The light itself, take that off because I don't want to have that in the same map anyway. Smart UV project, and that should be fine for the lighting. I don't think we're gonna go too crazy into detail with this. Let's see how that looks with the... Actually, I'll just add a new texture for this. But I think I'm going to use that silverish texture as well that I had for the walls originally, and just not use the color ramp on there. Because again, I want that to be like metal, so I'll work with that, and then I can make it shiny or whatever. Alright, how does that look? First of all, let me take this out of the equation. Hide that for now. There you go. Yeah, that's fine actually for what it is. I can actually yeah, I think that's did it pretty well. So I'll leave that the way it is. And now I can add something new for these. New material, new. Actually, something like light frame material, and then light bulb. I mean, yeah, I guess for now, light bulb material is fine. Light bulb material 1, in case there's going to be actual light bulbs. I'm just not really thinking of the name for what this would be right now, like these square kind of lights. I don't think it's a light bulb. It's more of just like, you know, like the translucent kind of plastic that's covering the light bulbs itself, you know. But anyway, that's fine. Let me actually do that now. With this, I will make these more metallic. Change the roughness there. Okay, that's fine. Okay, and now light bulb material assign, and we can make this something really simple. It's not really going to be showing too much of that, so shouldn't have it too much of a hard time. I was thinking of making it like a translucent sort of material, but for the purposes of what it's for, I don't even think we need to go into that much detail. What we can do is we can just kind of take the same texture again. I'll use the red this time, but then I'll add a color ramp to that. And we need to actually edit these faces as well. So let me actually. All right, something like that, and then we'll just project that from view. All right, perfect. Size those up and get the most out of that texture. Good, good. And then back to shading, and we can add a color ramp on those. They actually do look kind of blue already, just because of the light hitting off it. But we'll change that just in case. Color ramp. Change the black to sort of a teal color like that. Material preview that and see. Yeah, I think that's fine. All right, I think that looks okay for what I'm going for. Maybe make it even more blue. All right, how's that looking now? Very nice, very nice. No, why does it keep doing that, man? I just want it to be one fucking side, man. What is going on? Not the whole goddamn bottom. I don't want to take away my side menu here as well. I don't know why it's doing that. All right. So now That gives us a much better idea of what we're going to be aiming for in the hospital. Exactly, I don't exactly know if that's going to be like I said, everything's obviously like subject to change before I complete it and stuff like that. So yeah, this lighting is not ideal. It's probably not going to be what we're going for. I can maybe add a volumetric in there, just to kind of give it some like smokiness or fogginess and see how if I like it better that way. But I mean, the lighting is not really. I don't think it's perfectly how I want it yet, of course. But like I said, we'll be chopping and changing stuff all the time. It's still very early in the process. But in terms of like progress there, I think I'm going to leave it there for today. The next time I do a stream, I might be either continuing on with more texturing or maybe even animating or like adding. I might be dropping cameras into the scene, and I think that's actually what I might do next time. Sort of add some cameras into the scene and give them their different markers, and then that can help me work better toward like building an animatic for the scene. So yeah, I might do that on the next stream. I'll see how that works out. But yeah, I think in terms of like what we're going for, I'm pretty happy with that so far. It's kind of helping me decide really what I want to do and what I want to include in the shots. So hopefully you enjoyed that too. Like I said, this is not any tutorials or anything like this. I'm just kind of showing off my process in this and how I am, getting around to making this show and making the first episode of it. But yeah, hopefully if you want to keep up with my progress with that and get better familiar with everything that I'm doing, you can check out more of my animation live streams. I do have a playlist right here on the channel. I'll add this video in there as well so you can see the rest of them. And if you subscribe, then you can also be like updated on when I'm going to be releasing the first episode and all that. I'm excited to get it finished. It's been a very long time coming, but the show has evolved so much, and my idea for what I want it to be has changed so much that it's just, it's constantly like, damn, now I've got to change kind of everything surrounding it to make it, make my vision sort of come to life. So that's why it's been taking so long to kind of just decide and to get done what I need to get done. But I'm going to keep on doing it until I do finish it. But like I said, subscribe if you want to know when that's coming out, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. See you.